going, everybody? Hope you're doing well, and welcome back to Chat Over Coffee spin-off Reflective Thoughts. For those new to the show, this is what I do after I've done an interview with somebody. I'd like to take the time out and obviously reflect on the interview, reflect on the experience of it as well, the guests themselves. So this video is dedicated to Mr. Bryan Vigier, who I had the esteemed pleasure of interviewing not so long ago. Again, I know I've mentioned it before, but I'll mention it again. It was so ironic that I got to see him 3 months in the cinema, and 3 months ago in the cinema, and 3 months later he's on my podcast. And he was such a nice guy, really cool, very down to earth, a good laugh, and just one of the nicest, genuine people I had the opportunity of talking to. It was interesting to talk about how his background, how he got into being a stuntman, the movies he's worked on, how he was casted in the movie Shelter opposite Jason Statham, and what Jason was like. I'm sure everybody who's a fan of Jason Statham, they always want to know what's he actually like on set. And Jason's one of the coolest guys ever, and he was really nice to work with, and just a good laugh. And what was really interesting to me was one of the things about the entire interview is that Bryan doesn't have a full-on martial arts background. He said he's trained in quite a few martial arts, but he's not to the extent of all the other people I've interviewed as well. And what was so unique about Bryan in the movies was the fact that he was able to make it so convincing, like with the grappling, the throwing, the takedowns and everything, and even the knife play. So I could tell in a way that he's had some extent of training, because he did mention that he trained in some judo, jiu-jitsu, aikido, mainly a lot of grappling martial arts. And when he came on, when he was being casted in Shelter, they said they need somebody who's a believable foe for Statham. And honestly, I think without Bryan, that movie, it was good, but Bryan definitely elevated its status, I have to be honest with you. But like I said, what was really interesting, how he got to work on other movies such as John Wick 4. He worked on The Union with Mark Wahlberg. I asked him as well what was Keanu Reeves like to work with on John Wick 4. Keanu's a really nice guy, gives everybody the time of day. He's not very dismissive of anybody, and he's easy to get along with. And with Mark Wahlberg, Mark's quite, he's intense, but he gets the job done, and it was a pleasure working with him as well. And obviously Luke Evans, when he worked with him on Weekend in Taipei, and I did say this to Bryan, that when I saw the trailer for the movie Shelter, I honestly thought that was Luke Evans, because there's a massive resemblance between the two of these actors. And I said, do you get that asked a lot, that